Hey everyone, Sadie here. Today I am up with this double page sketch for Follow a Sketch February. I'm actually going to convert that into a one-pager with these two pictures of my daughter doing a science experiment with dried peas. And I'm going to be using my not secret Kit Club. Let's see what I can do. The only thing I've done so far is take my two photos and mat them on a piece of some black cardstock. My sketch has the photos all connected and next to each other, so I wanted to pull that from the sketch, from making it go from a two-page layout to a one-page layout. And I think that that's something fun you can do with sketches. If it's a two-page sketch, make it a one-page, or if it's a one-page, stretch it out and make it a two-page. Sketches are just guidelines, right? Okay. So there's a lot of fun little bits and elements on my sketch. So I decided to grab a couple of my border punches, and then I also grabbed border stickers, which are really old Creative Memories border stickers, and I don't even use those. I thought I was going to because of that color, but I kind of forgot about them. They got buried under my desk. And then I also have some burlap border strips, and I love these burlap border strips. They come in a creamy white and more of the traditional brown burlap. And what's exciting about that is they came from Recollection, so they were kind of cheap. Now, all of these papers I got in my Secret Not Secret Kit Club. I'm not exactly sure which collection these 6x6 papers come from, but when I was cutting out the chevrons from this orange paper pad, I did not cut it evenly. My chevron was very crooked, so I had to go ahead and trim off a little bit just to make sure that that chevron got correct. Now, I'm sitting here, I'm messing around with some of the die cuts and little bits that came with the kit, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I want to do and where I want these little bits to go. And I'm thinking, oh, you know what? This would be nice to have this on the edge over here. So I cut the paper into an L because I want to be able to use more of this paper on this page, and I want to be able to use more of this paper, period. That's the beauty about scrapbooking. So there are times where I don't care, and I would have used that entire 6x6 sheet behind those photos. And then there are times where I'm like, I want to use some more of this. This is the only sheet I have. This is a great green color. So I'm going to cheat and make it look like there's a whole bunch of paper back there when in reality there's not. And there we go. I get my layout pushed up a little bit. So on my table, I have this Fisker's grid mat, and it is old. It's a really old grid mat, and this side is pink and the other side is neon green. And I knew exactly which line I needed to be on to have my layout in full view of the camera. However, I moved the mat so that the mat comes down to the bottom edge of my table now instead of being a little bit up from the edge. So it's thrown me off with which line I need to follow to make sure my scrapbook layouts are fully in frame. So it's going to take me a little bit, but I will get it fixed so that the scrapbook layout will be in frame the entire time. So here we have that, and that's all finished. And now I'm just going to start grabbing little bits of the other 6x6 papers. I'm going to be layering them up underneath and just giving it a little bit more excitement around these two photos. And while I'm looking at this, I'm wishing I would have done a little bit of inking on these edges. That big love word sticker made a brief appearance. It comes later. I do use that, not sticker, that big love chipboard. That does come later on in the series. I did not use it today. I did, however, take this little die cut that says love on it and place it over here on my photo. That was a lot of finger tapping. There we go. So I pulled out these washi strips, and these are 3 strips of washi from Jen Hadfield. And I thought that I would like to use this gold and black, or is it gold? Kind of goldy, coppery type things. So I just trimmed off a little bit and cut it out, and then I'm going to grab my border punch, and it was a decision of which one I wanted to use, and I'm just going to punch it. So I get it lined up, and I'm just moving it around, just lining it up and punching it, causing an earthquake while I do. So I have that done, and I just peel it off. Then I forget that it's actually washi tape, and it gives me a little bit of a fit. And I'm like, do I want it underneath? And then I thought, no, I'm going to put it over here and face it the complete opposite direction of what I was actually planning on doing. And then I think, oh, it's a little bit too far over, and I don't want to cut it because I've got like the perfect amount on each side. So I just layer it up there. And that's something that you could do with any kind of washi tape. One thing I like to do with my washi tapes is back them on white paper anyway, just because some of the washi tapes are translucent and I don't want you to be able to see what's behind the washi tape if I'm layering it up. So what I do is take that washi tape, span it across a sheet of white paper, and actually a lot of the times what I do is take some of those ugly 12 by 12 papers that, you know, you've been holding on to a long time. They came back in big old stacks and slabs of paper back in the day, and they're white on the other side, and they're thin. So I just slap that washi across it and then cut out the washi. So if you wanted to do that with any kind of washi and use your border punches or even just shape punches, you could do that. Now I've pulled in this little label sticker, and that is from Recollections. And while I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if I shouldn't have tucked it underneath of the photo. It never even occurred to me to tuck it underneath the photo while I was doing this layout. Okay, so here I have some more of that green paper. Remember, I cut it into that weird L shape so that I could use it again. And I just need to bring in that color down here as well. I have all this green over on the left side, and I just need a tad bit more of it over on the right side. And I haven't adhered down my photo cluster yet. And that is because I'm kind of not exactly sure if it's going to end up in the exact middle of the page or if I'm going to have it go off one of the edges. I'm just not sure where it's going to go yet, because remember, I'm pulling a 2-page sketch down into a 1-page sketch, so I'm not exactly sure where all the pieces are going to fall. Now, I really liked this paper. I really have got to find out where this 6x6 paper pad came from, because I really like the colors in this. Now, when I requested my kit for, let's see, this is my December kit because I scrapped with it throughout January. Okay, well, into February, but nobody needs to know I'm still scrapbooking with my December kit in February, right? Right, okay. So I do get my kit at the end of the month. And for this kit, I requested no pink. I was kind of getting, overwhelmed with all the pink. I just did that Disney Girls trip, had a lot of pink in it. And I just felt like I was going pink, 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 pink. So I got these colors, and these are awesome. I used to scrapbook a lot with green and blue and orange, like a lot. And then kind of, I guess, transitioned over to the pink teal colors because it's what's available, guys, right? Like, that is what they're manufacturing, and that's what I'm buying. So that's why there's so much pink. But as you can see, there's always bits and pieces of collections or bits out of your stash where you don't have to use that pink stuff. And nobody knows what is the latest and greatest product. If you go look at my albums, I have no idea. Like if I go back and look at a 2001 album, do I remember, oh, this product was all the rage? Maybe if you look at my albums, you can see themes where there were times where I used rub-ons tremendously, like a lot of rub-ons, or there's been times where brads are on every page or eyelets are on every page. But that's more of a trend of what I like to scrapbook with rather than products, because if you go look at that same album with those pages that have eyelets all over them, there's going to be a striped paper in there. And then go forward 5 more years, and there might not be eyelets, but there's still going to be a striped paper. Like the papers, you're not going to know. You're just not. It's all going to melt together, and it's going to be a beautiful story, no matter how you scrapbook and show off your album. So whether it's chronologically or themed or however you show off your albums and your pages, nobody's going to know. Nobody is going to know, especially if you're one of the scrapbookers that scrapbooks whatever photos you're feeling at the moment and slip into albums chronologically. Those scrapbookers are going to have, they could have, say, 2017. They could, let's go back farther. Say they have 2005. They scrapbooked a bunch in 2005 of 2005. And then they really didn't mess around with it for a while. And then they went back in 2008 and scrapbooked some more. Then they went back in 2012 some scrapbooked some more. And then last year they've wrapped up their 2005 pictures. That is a whole mess of papers and a whole mess of techniques and a whole mess of products throughout that entire time. So anyway, the point of this is, it doesn't matter. Okay, back to the page. So I've taken bits and pieces and some labels and doilies and I'm just labeling it up and making it fun. Now, I thought for a brief moment about switching the order of my pictures because that picture on the right seemed to have more extra space. But I decided not to do that. And I'm trying to think of something I can make with these stickers that came in my kit, along with some letters, and just try to make a good title. So at first I think it's going to be like my science experiment, and I'll put science in these letters that came in the kit, and then go pull out some small letters for experiment. And I'm like, no, I don't really like this. And I'm like, maybe I should pull out this my word just so I can figure out the spacing. And then I'm like, no way, science is totally not going to fit there. So I have to think, and I'm like, well, this was about peas, and I'm going in my head, peas, what can I do with peas? And then I'm like, peas. I can do a play on words. So I pull out the letters that I need to make the word peas, and I'm just going to reposition this label because I wanted it not to go all the way to the edge of the paper. And the beauty about these foam thickers is that you can adjust them a little bit more than you can with the chipboard thickers. So you'll see that in a second. What I'm going to do is move this over a little bit because I didn't like the spacing. And then I'm going to take that Y and whoop, do that guy down so it's not hitting my daughter in the face. And then I'm just going to change that a little bit and get that spacing right. So it's going to be my piece of science. So instead of my piece of science, it's going to be my piece of science. And I thought it was witty when I created the title. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cute, kind of weird, but it's kind of like how I like my titles. I like kind of cute, kind of weird. They're either very straightforward titles or they're kind of weird ones that make sense in my head. Excuse me. So I thought, I have this gold here, and I have these gold little dots on that washi tape, so I'm going to need a little bit more gold. So I grabbed these bags that came in the kit, and I decided not to cut them apart and just leave them as they were, except for this bottom bag. I didn't want the flap edge showing. I wanted it to be a straight edge. So I went ahead and trimmed that off, and I'm layering it down here at the bottom as well. And then I'm just trying to figure out what I can do over here on the right side of the page where this label sticker is. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of something. So I pull out my word phrases from Simple Stories. These did not come in my Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit. These are something that I have in my stash. And I went and looked through the cream colored ones and just decided to place those down. And I did not have you guys watch me place down science on that label sticker over at the title, just because they were round stickers and they took me a long time to get the letters straight. And I just wrote in "of" with my pen. So I'm flipping through my word stickers and I'm trying to find some ones that will kind of go with the whole science experiment and fun type thing. So I go ahead and get those down. And then I decide I need to move down this one a little bit more, just so that there is some separation between the top and the bottom. And then I take these enamel dots, and something that I'm doing lately that I seem to like, and I haven't done it a whole lot in the past, is take 3 of the same color enamel dots but different sizes and group them in tight little triangles. And to me they kind of look like wonky Mickey heads. Maybe that's why I'm enjoying it so much right now. Not exactly sure. Now I'm just going to take my little pieces of paper that I used to block off my pictures, and I'm splattering some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in gold, and I'm going to add just a line or 2 of journaling and a date, and that's going to be it. Thanks so much for checking out today's video for Follow a Sketch February. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe, that way you won't miss any more of the future Follow a Sketch February videos, and I will see you guys tomorrow.